David Khan here for Seconds Out with one of the hardest working men in all of boxing, I think, Spencer. You wear many hats in the game. You're always grafting away too. I've seen you working the commentary over the fight, Dereck Chisora, Joe Joyce. Now you're here as well too. You must be feeling tired.
I've done a little bit of talk boxing in between that as well, with Duke McKenzie as well. So yeah, mate, feeling tired, but like buzzing, mate, buzzing. I love this. I love the whole. You know, I love the whole fight weeks. Looking forward to this one. Callum Simpson, Zach Chell up in Barnsley. Homecoming for Callum Simpson. It's going to be a great, great night. Look at us here, mate. Look at us here, set up like a little TV studio, overlooking the Thames. We're in the Shard, 35th floor on the Shard. I mean, what more do you want, mate? Like, I mean, we just had a lovely lunch as well, haven't we? I mean, it's life is good, man. Life is good, but boxing is good at the moment. You know, Dereck Chisora versus Joe Joyce at the weekend, Saturday night, was absolutely insane. Like, do you know what I mean? From a personal point of view, you know, I've known Dereck a long, long time since he was a 16-year-old kid. And everybody, including myself, had written him off really and said, look, you know, Dereck, we know what he is. We know what he's going to do. We know how he delivers. And yeah, if he makes a final bell, that'll be a moral sort of victory. But no one expected the fight to go the way that it did. The atmosphere, was you there, by the way?
I was there for it, yeah.
The atmosphere was
something
insane, wasn't it? Like, and he's a national treasure, Dereck Chisora, because you know what it is? We live in a world where sometimes fights don't deliver that you expect to deliver. But we live in a world where money's hard to come by. Do you know what I mean? So when you get that money and you want to pay to go and see a good fight, a good old-fashioned dust-up, and you pay and you get that, you go, that's why he is what he is, Dereck Chisora. Like, you know, whatever you can say about him, whether he should retire or not retire, 48 fights in now, whatever else. Saturday night, he delivered, mate, and so did Joe Joyce as well. Fantastic fight and fantastic night as well. The card was insane.
What's next for Joe Joyce, who a lot of people would have been saying that would be the question we'd be asking for Dereck, maybe looking to hang it up, but he showed that he's got some life left in him with future fights down the line. He's called out Dillian Whyte afterwards. But what about Joe? It's a tough road back for him now, if indeed he does come back.
It really is. That is like, for Dereck, if he lost that fight, we expected it. 13 fights he'd lost, you know, previously. He's boxed the who's who of anyone in heavyweight boxing, and so you sort of half expected that. So Dereck would still make it to that 50 fights he's been talking about. But Joe Joyce, on the other hand, that was a different kettle of fish, because Joe needed a win here, and he needed to make a statement to catapult his name back up into the mix. I mean, Eamon, we're going back, like, you're talking like, what, you're going back 18 months ago or so, before he boxed LA Zhang 2 years ago. You look at it and you go, like, he was being, after the Joseph Parker victory, he was being talked about as the man to topple the man. That was Tyson Fury at the time. You're going, he's going to be hard to beat, you know, Joe Joyce on that performance. And you know, the back-to-back losses to Zhale Zhang, the laboured performance against Cash Ali in that victory, and you just felt this was the perfect opportunity for him if he was going to get back to the top and make a statement. Dereck Chisora is the guy. Good name, will come at you. The openings will be there. The opportunity will be there. All you got to do is deliver, and he couldn't deliver. So what next for him? It's a tough road back. It really is, mate, because the guy that I saw boxing Dereck and Cash Ali before the Zhale Zhang, after the Zhale Zhang fights ago, that weren't the guy I saw boxing Joseph Parker, and that's the worry for me, because, you know, it's going to be a tough road back for Dereck Chisora, mate. I think Dereck Chisora is like, he's set himself up for, he's going to have 2 more fights, whatever you think about what he is, because, and the guy's in control of his own destiny, whether we think he should retire or not. I personally said, look, I want you to retire. Go out on a high. Joe Joyce, Olympic silver medalist. You know, you've done him. Like, this is the opportunity. He doesn't want to do that. He said, 50 is where I'm going. I want to go Manchester, possibly Saudi. I mean, Deontay Wilder, well, that would be a great fight for him. The reason I say Deontay Wilder is because he looked like shot last time he boxed Zhale Zhang. Like, he looked terrible. He was looked gun shy. He looked like against Joseph Parker as well. And you go, for Dereck, he's all about boxing modern eras, boxing the best of the best. He wanted to go down and be remembered as the guy that boxed everyone. Well, now's your opportunity, mate. And he would probably beat Wilder right now. Okay. Because Wilder's not like what that trilogy that he had with Tyson Fury took everything out of Deontay Wilder. The Joseph Parker performance was terrible, and I thought, was that just a bad night at the office? Zhale Zhang, when we saw that performance, you go, actually, no. The fight has definitely left him. So, like, for Dereck, he fulfills his dream of boxing everyone in that modern era, and he gets in against Deontay Wilder. and it's possibly a winnable fight for him right now. So maybe that.
What about Dylan White? Dylan called him out after the fight.
Yeah.
Dereck said he was interested in that fight as well too. And how close of a run thing do you think it would be given the first 2 fights, which were close affairs?
The first 2 fights were unbelievable. I thought Dereck actually nicked the first fight. The second fight, he was winning that fight until he got knocked out. Was it 11th round?
Yeah.
He was actually winning that fight. So why not? Why not go for the trilogy as well? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're the sort of names that I'd like to see Dereck in with. That might be your 2 fights there. Dylan White, Deontay Wilder.
What about Callum Simpson then? He's headlining now, Oakwell Stadium. A lot of pressure on his shoulders, and this feels like maybe one of the last or 1 or 2 more fights before you really go and give that big push towards a world title assault. He's in against Zach Chell, who's proven himself at this type of level. What do you think of the fight, and who do you think comes out with the win?
It's a coming-of-age fight, isn't it? Like you say, like Callum Simpson, all the hype's there, all the talk's there. People have been bigging it up. I spoke to him earlier on and said, look, now it's your time to deliver. We see if you are the real deal because, you know, you've had that run now. What is he, 14-0 now? So you've had that opportunity. Now you go, now you have to deliver because this is your coming-of-age fight. Zach Chell, we know what he is. You know, he loves going on to the other guy's backyard. He told me, he said earlier on, he was like, listen, I wanted it here in Barnsley FC, he said, because the pressure's on him, not me. And I come here and I deliver and I upset the apple cart. I've done that so many times before. So both guys are very happy where they're situated with this one. Simpson, because he goes, I want to prove myself in front of my own people. I feed off that. Chelly, because he likes being the underdog. But it's a coming of age. Listen, we know what Chelly's going to bring, but then we're going to find out more about Callum Simpson. I'm excited about it because I think Simpson's the real deal. Zach Chell will bring that out in him, so we find out actually is he the real deal. That's what we find out on Saturday night. I believe he is, but we find it out on Saturday night. That's why I'm excited about it. Great card actually. Stephen McKenna I'm looking forward to as well against Joe Laws. Yeah. Can't wait for that one, like because we know what Kip McKenna is. 14-0, 13 KOs will come straight lines, throwing loads of punches. Joe Laws is the same. Like, it could be a 3-round dust-up, that one, but it will be exciting as well. It's a really entertaining card.
Caroline putting herself in the position.
Can't wait for that as well. Yeah, Caroline Dubois, WBC interim champion. She wins that one. WBC champion, obviously Katie Taylor, the pioneer of women's boxing. That's where she wants to go. That's her dream. You know, that's where she would love to go, but she definitely puts herself up in the mix, but she's got this tough South American girl, you know, that she's coming up against, 14-0 with, 14-1, something like that. But she's tough, rugged, comes forward, throws lots of punches. Perfect for Caroline Dubois to sort of make a statement, really, stylistically. But looking forward to that as well. Look, it's a great card, isn't it? We've just come off the back of that Joe Joyce, Dereck Chisora one, where you've had Dennis McCann, Baluta in an unbelievable barnstormer. And then we had Ryan Garner beating Archie Sharp. That was another great fight as well. You looked at that and you go right from the bottom right to the very, very top. Unbelievable fights. We're going to get the same Saturday night. We're blessed as boxing fans at the moment. Spencer,
speaking of making a statement, it would have been a statement for Chris Eubank Jr. had he landed the Canelo fight. It seems like that's not going to materialise now. Edgar Berlanga gets that opportunity against Canelo. But what's the lay of the land you feel for Chris Eubank Jr. having missed out on the Canelo fight for now?
Well, I think that Junior at the moment, I mean, I don't know where he's situated at the moment. I know they're keeping the cards quite close to their chest, but Junior seems to think there is opportunity there, and we will hear in the forthcoming weeks. But I think they're happy with where they're at. But I think for Junior, it's ultimately about getting that world title shot, you know, and fulfilling that dream and becoming that world champion. I think that is important. There's big fights out there for him. There's always going to be big fights out there. You know, when we talk about the Conor Ben fight, that fight's never going to go away. Yeah. Whenever that happens, whenever Conor clears his shit up, which is still seems to be ongoing at the moment. But yeah, when that gets sorted, that fight's always going to be there. There's big fights out there for you, mate. There's always going to be big fights. It's a big name, but looking forward to seeing him resume his career again for sure.
Do you think he can capture that full version of the world title?
I do.